This one's kind of funny. They're a finance company with a side gig of selling RVs as the way to sucker people in. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about big corporate dealerships. We have Mr. Jim here submitted his experience. So a big corporate dealership experience. This
oh boy,
this ought to be good. I wonder which one he's talking about.
Yeah, no kidding.
We're about to find out. So he wrote, "Pushy salespeople, bait and switch on price. They spring $2,000 to $4,000 of freight fees on you at the last minute. After you're done negotiating, ready to sign." Let's see. They spring $1,200 in prep and inspection. And they toss in a goodie bag with $150 worth of cables and hoses and act like it's a gift. They charge crazy pricing for your document fees, your titles and registration. And then it says, this one's kind of funny. They're a finance company with a side gig of selling RVs as the way to sucker people in to using their terrible financing and eating all the add-on fees because they don't know that's not how it works anywhere else. I think he's talking about the customer. Like The customer goes with it because they just don't know. That's why we're here. I'm going to help explain it. They'll sell you a rig that is dangerously oversized for your tow vehicle and tell you that it's fine. They hide defects, and they try to sell demo units as new retail. Evil company all around. They've been subject to multiple lawsuits. Google it, including big class action suit earlier this year for many of the practices described above. And he put, "I doubt they've made any real change since because they've earned way more money ripping people off than they've had to pay out in these suits." Okay, so Jim, obviously, I know what dealership he's talking about.
I got a pretty good idea.
I mean, this is stuff that we talk about at our dealerships. We talk to our customers about. We're very vocal on TikTok about, like, don't pay these hidden fees. So, they spring $2,000 to $4,000 of freight and then $1,200 in prep. Like, I know you're a big fan of just, like, no fees. I've always been like that way. Like, even when we were salespeople for this particular dealership, I didn't like doing those fees either.
I just thought, whenever I was doing it, it was a negotiation tactic. You know, I mean, that's what it is. That's what it's there for. People, if they're a smarter buyer, they're going to be like, I don't have to pay these,
Right.
But, here, luckily, we recognize that and just do no hidden fees.
Yeah, we just strip it. Like, hey, we're not here to nickel and dime you. We just want to just do good business. As I know a lot of salespeople that don't like doing the hidden fees because it is hidden. I know they train the salespeople. I've been in the trainings. You've been in the trainings where they talk about, like, hey, we just disclose everything. We don't put it in the sell price. Even though their sell price is still just as high as anybody else's sell price. They're selling it the same. They're just putting on fees as soon as you get in the door and you like it. So that is here's the thing for our customers and the big corporate dealership's not the only one that does this. There's a ton of corporate dealerships, and unfortunately there's also some family-owned dealerships that do the same thing. And I think what happens in our experience, it's a copycat league. They're doing it and they're getting away with it, and 9 times out of 10 they're having someone pay these fees, and the 10th person is saying, no, I'm not going to pay them, and they waive them. Well, then it trickles down. Well, okay, so-and-so's doing it and they're getting 9 out of 10 people to pay it. Let's do it. Let's make more money. Let's copycat them. And I think it's just a bad way to do business.
I agree. I mean, you already pay the transport to get it there. Why should you pass that on?
Yeah, that's already in. I know it's funny on TikTok because I'll post about this stuff, and some people on there be like, well, you're just putting it in your sell price, and so are they. So are they. When they're pricing that unit, I've seen the invoices. I was in management with some of these big corporate dealerships. Like the pricing has the transport fee in there. They don't price it underneath cost and then have these $2,000 to $4,000 fees bring it back up over cost. That's not how it works. It's in there. So to our viewers, if you're reading this and we're kind of dissecting this as we go. Some of these big corporate dealerships, if you ever see a fee, PDI prep fee, transportation fee, let's go camping package, whatever,
yeah.
like just don't pay it. Like, don't, just be stern with them. Don't be mean to the salesperson. It's crap rolls downhill.
Yeah, they're just doing what they're told.
They're just doing what they're told. Don't be mean to them. Just be like, hey, tell your manager I'm not paying it, and then negotiate from there. But something he did say that I think does get confused with the majority of the customers out there is when we do have to finance their documentation fees, their taxes, So if you don't know, to the viewers, that is actually not shady or anything that a big corporate dealership does. Like, we do it here. My dealership, we finance your sales tax in. We have to guarantee that that loan is registered. Yep. Yeah, we got to make sure that title, once you in Arkansas, once you register, that title goes to the bank.
Yep.
Or the lender. So we have to make sure that gets done. The easiest way to do that is put it into your financing. We're not making any, typically really any money off of it. We get a % back from the bank on the total amount. Not to get too much into, in the total amount of the loan, but most people's taxes are $1,200. So I'm not like, it's just, it has to be in there due to our lender agreements. We got to make sure that thing is registered. If not, I'm on the hook. The dealership's on the hook for a buyback. Meaning, if we have to buy that thing back, now I become a repo guy. And I got to go get your stuff. So if someone's trying to put your taxes or anything like that, and they tell you it has to be done, that even if you're at a big corporate dealership, that is true. It has to be done. It has to be registered. So I can understand. We get that kickback sometimes.
Yeah,
too. Customers are like, hey, I don't want to pay interest on it. I don't want it in my loan. We tell them it's pretty easy. If you don't want to pay interest on it, and you're going to pay it in 30 days anyways, might as well just put it as a down payment.
Yep.
If your taxes are $1,200, you put $1,200 down. That eliminates you paying any interest on that money because you're only paying interest on the principal. Another thing that he said that I think he has Jim, that he has a misconception on is they're a finance company with a side gig selling RVs as a way to sucker people into using their terrible financing.
Yep.
To be honest with you, that's not true at all. We all use the same banks. I have the same lenders that they do. In fact, the lenders have nothing to do with the camper itself, if
Correct.
it breaks or if they do fees or anything like that. The lender's just looking at it as black and white. They're saying, hey, does this guy qualify to give him $20,000? Like they're very black and white. So if you're thinking that they have terrible financing, that's not true. In fact, there's a lot of great lenders. We use TTCU. They're fantastic. Aqua's been great. Source One. All these nice. They're awesome.
Yep.
So don't get caught up on their finance company and their terrible financing. Like, that's just, unfortunately, I just know that's not true. They have some great financing options, and they do some good stuff as far as that goes. They sell you a rig that is dangerously oversized for your tow vehicle. Now
I don't know about you, but I never did that.
No,
I have heard of horror stories though of them doing that just to get units out.
Luckily, on my side, and I will say, I'll back some of the, when I was on the sales team, some of the managers that were. That would not allow that. The service manager. That really falls on the service manager and the general manager.
Yep.
At the end of the day, for us at our dealership, we have we have a form that says this is your tow vehicle, this is your towing rate. Like, we need to be, sometimes 1,500, 2,000 pounds back of it, depending on the truck. If it's a 2,500, then you can pretty much pull anything on my lot. Typically, I think that happens when people have smaller, like GMCs, 4Runners, Tacomas, and also some of that's also on the customer himself.
Absolutely. They sometimes customers want more, and they unfortunately can't tow it.
Or I've only had it happen one time here that there are documentation that says, hey, we've told you this is oversized. Like sometimes you just have that old redneck guy that's like, no, my 1994 can pull anything on this lot.
Yeah.
I ain't doing nothing. I'll sign whatever piece of paper I need to pull it off a lot. And those are one-off situations. But I think some salespeople take that one-off situation and run with it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, if we can do it for this guy, I'll just go ahead and do it for this mom that's towing with a van and put her in something way too heavy when they need to be on like something 2,500 pounds or less. He puts them on 3,500, and then you have just bad apples. You have bad management, bad serviceman that lets that happen. You let a bad general manager that's just bad
goes
management.
downhill. Yep.
I would rather lose a deal because they can't tow it and they go somewhere else and blow up their engine, knowing that I did everything I can to teach them that no, they can't do it, and I don't put them in harm's way, their family, or somebody else on the road with them in harm's way.
Correct.
I mean, I've seen some crazy stuff happen when people are driving and triple towing with what they shouldn't. And I'm just thinking, like, when I'm driving, I'm like, I'm trying to get away from them. I'm passing them and flooring it.
With 36-foot campers with a boat behind it. I just...
Now, I will say this. This is also on the customer as well. Like, no offense, but know what you're towing capacity is. Do the research.
Do your research. Yeah.
Google it. We got technology. We can do all kinds of things. Call your Ford dealership. Be proactive. Don't just, yes, the salesperson should be a professional, and we train here how to handle those situations. But be proactive. Know what your towing capacity is before you go in and start looking at a bunch of RVs, and just don't expect them to always, especially a big corporate dealership, don't expect them always to lead you in the right direction.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, Evil Company, they've been sued a bunch. That is absolutely true. I mean, I know exactly what dealership this is. I know if you go on Facebook and put their name, blah, blah, sucks. And they're going to get a big old form full of stuff.
I didn't even know that was a page until somebody pulled it up in front of me, and I was like...
Isn't that wild, though?
I was just like, wow.
Like, how bad do you have to be to have, like someone, like a hate group? You know what I mean? Like, man, this company sucks, and have a, crazy hate group, which is real, but that also comes back with, I would say, not every store is the same. When you are nationwide, you're going to have stores that are really good.
Better, and then you have stores that are different.
But I think as a viewer, you can bypass some of that and know exactly what kind of store you're going to get by reviews. Mm-hmm. The Google reviews.
Yep.
Go to the newest Google reviews. And if you go down and you count 10 or 20 and 15 of them are bad, there's a good chance that your experience is going to be bad.
It's going to be the same as everybody else.
Now, if you count 15 of them, of their newest ones, and most of them are good, hey, who knows? You're probably going to have a good experience.
Yeah.
Not all big corporate dealerships are bad, but there are some that are absolutely terrible. So, again, to our viewers, watch out for this stuff. Watch out for, hidden fees, anything like that.
Don't pay them.
Don't pay them.
Don't have to pay them. And you can tell people that. Don't be afraid to get up and walk out.
Yeah, don't forget to walk out. So that concludes today's episode. Jim, thank you for submitting your big corporate RV dealership experience with us. Hopefully we have shed some light on some of the stuff that they do that isn't, crazy or bad tactics or bad business. Now, the other stuff, absolutely, you're 100% right.
Yeah.
Shouldn't happen. That's not how an RV dealership should work. And if you're an RV dealership out there and you're watching this video, step up. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're a mall and Paul store, don't copycat what the big corporate dealership is doing with these fees and trying to just add. And I get it. It's money you want to add to your bottom line, but just... like what I tell people, don't be a douchebag.
Just be transparent.
Be transparent. That's what I tell our salespeople. I got a good saying. Don't be a douchebag. Just do good business. Be fair. Yep. But that's it for today's episode. Follow along if you like this. Also follow us on TikTok. As always, thank you for watching. We are an Arkansas dealership with Texas size discounts. So if you are in the market, hit us up. Hit us on Facebook, TikTok, and let's get the RV community up and running, and let's start holding some of these bigger dealerships accountable.
Let's make them knowledgeable what's going on at those bigger RV dealerships.
As always, thank you for watching, and God bless.